What's up everyone, welcome back to the MMA Buzz. After Tom Aspinall's title fight with Cyril Gane ended in a disappointing no contest, the MMA world immediately drew comparisons between Aspinall and Michael Bisping, the first ever UK champion who famously fought and won a UFC title with one eye. Fans and pundits across the UK have debated the difference in toughness, legacy, and decision-making between the two fighters. Bisping himself supported Aspinall's choice not to continue, emphasizing that fighter safety must always come first. However, he couldn't resist injecting a bit of humor into the conversation. Under a post highlighting his one-eyed championship win, Bisping commented, "Mikey doesn't need another eye," a line that quickly went viral across MMA circles. Some saw it as a cheeky flex, while others took it as classic Bisping banter, the kind only the Count could pull off. Paddy Pimblett also joined the discussion, sharing his perspective on his YouTube channel. He said the two situations aren't truly comparable. "I feel bad for Cyril Gane," Paddy said. "Even though it was his fault, it wasn't intentional. They really need to fix the gloves so these eye pokes stop happening. Tom couldn't see. What's he supposed to do? You can't fight if you can't see." Paddy went on to clarify that while Bisping had no choice but to fight with one eye due to a long-term injury, Aspinall was dealing with a sudden, serious impairment. "Tom doesn't have to fight with one eye like Bisping did. If he can't see, he's got to stop. Safety first," he explained. Despite the frustration, Pimblett believes the fight must be rebooked. "That was shaping up to be Tom's toughest test yet," he said. "Both guys started strong, and it was getting really good before the eye poke." The incident continues to fuel debate among fans. How far should a fighter go when the stakes are high, and when does bravery cross the line into recklessness? One thing's for sure, the UFC world isn't done talking about Tom Aspinall, Michael Bisping, and the fine line between courage and caution inside the Octagon. Please subscribe to channel and hit the bell icon for latest MMA updates. We truly value your support and need your support. Move on to another news. Tom Aspinall was left frustrated after his post-fight interview with Daniel Cormier at UFC 321. Following a brutal eye poke from Cyril Gane, Aspinall was visibly in pain when Cormier approached him in the Octagon for an interview. British analyst and close friend of Aspinall, Adam Catterall, revealed that Tom was irritated by the timing, believing the interview could have waited until he had properly recovered. "Someone's got to take responsibility in that moment," Tom reportedly said. "Don't stick a microphone in that man's face. There's a situation going on. Get him out of the way first, then move things forward." The situation reminded many fans of when Joe Rogan interviewed Cormier immediately after his knockout loss to John Jones, a moment Rogan later admitted he regretted. Now, UFC President Dana White has confirmed a rematch between Aspinall and Gane for early 2026, with January or February being the most likely dates. The organization plans to open its new Paramount deal with major headliners, such as Aspinall and Ilia Topuria, both expected to front early pay-per-view events of the year. Despite the chaos, analysts see potential positives for the heavyweight division. Catterall suggested that the controversy might actually reinvigorate the competition. Fans were beginning to assume the division was dominated by a single name, but this incident and the upcoming rematch promise renewed excitement and unpredictability. "From a fan's point of view, this could turn out to be a good thing," Catterall said. "You want competition, jeopardy, and real conversations about where the division stands." Cyril Gane, who managed to show composure and improvement in the short duration of their fight, also earned praise. Analysts noted his visible evolution over the past year, suggesting that their next matchup will be far more balanced. As Dana White put it, "We're running this back straight away." The rematch promises to deliver not only closure for the controversy, but also a thrilling start to a new year for the UFC heavyweight division. Move on to another news. After an impressive win over Mario Bautista at UFC 321, Umar Nurmagomedov opened up at the post-fight press conference about a critical mistake that nearly cost him the fight. Despite dominating most of the contest with his trademark pressure in wrestling, he was caught off guard by a perfectly timed knee that sent shockwaves through the arena. Umar admitted that this wasn't a random error, it was something his cousin, Khabib Nurmagomedov, had been warning him about for years. According to Umar, he has a habit of lowering his level too early without proper setup during exchanges, a move that leaves him open to flying knees and uppercuts. "It's something I've done in training before," Umar said. "Khabib always tells me not to drop my level like that without a setup. This time I paid for it. I need to fix this glitch in my defense once and for all." The Dagestani star took full responsibility for the mistake, calling it a valuable lesson rather than just a scare. "Nobody's perfect," he continued, "but I'll work harder than ever to clean it up. Every fight is a learning experience, and this one showed me where I can still grow." Despite the knockdown, Umar remained composed, quickly recovering and regaining control of the fight. He utilized superior grappling, ground control, and striking adjustments chance to secure a unanimous decision win. Reflecting on a moment where Bautista went for a heel hook, Umar explained he wasn't worried. "It's a position I deal with all the time in training. I've got good flexibility and know how to slip out. It's not jiu-jitsu. In MMA, when someone goes for your leg and you're striking, it's hard for them to finish." The win solidified Umar's place among the elite in the bantamweight division, keeping him within striking distance of a title eliminator. Analysts believe he's now the most likely contender to face the winner of Merab Dvalishvili vs Peter Yan later this year. For Umar, the victory is more than another step up the rankings. It's a reminder that even the best have room to evolve. It's a small mistake, but small things can cost you big in this sport, he concluded. "Next time I'll make sure that never happens again." Move on to another news. Islam Makhachev has set the MMA world buzzing after calling out Ilia Topuria for a potential showdown at the highly anticipated UFC White House event. During an interview with ESPN, the reigning lightweight champion revealed his interest in facing the featherweight king in what could be one of the biggest cross-division fights in UFC history. "I don't know who's next for Ilia," Islam said. "If we talk about future fights, I've already had some great matchups, and I know he's going to fight soon. But I think the UFC wants something massive for the White House card, and what fight could be bigger than this?" Makhachev explained that both he and Topuria have expressed interest in competing at the historic event, which is expected to be the UFC's most prestigious showcase yet. "He wants to fight at the White House, and I want to be there too," Islam added. "It would be a huge moment for the MMA community. People want this fight, and if the UFC wants it, we can make it happen." The proposed bout between Makhachev and Topuria would pit two of the most dominant champions in the sport against each other: Topuria, the undefeated featherweight knockout artist, and Makhachev, the methodical grappling powerhouse who has continued to cement his legacy since capturing the lightweight title. Fans and analysts have long speculated about a potential super fight between the two. Topuria's meteoric rise, combined with his outspoken confidence, has made him a fan favorite, while Makhachev's technical precision and Dagestani dominance have kept him atop the pound-for-pound rankings. If the fight materializes, it could be one of the biggest events in UFC history, an unprecedented clash between champions under the spotlight of the White House. As Makhachev put it, "For the MMA world, this would be huge. Everyone would watch. If UFC wants big, this is as big as it gets." Move on to another news. Ikram Aliskerov has responded to Khamzat Chimaev's recent criticism, clarifying that his earlier remarks were taken out of context. The tension began when Aliskerov, speaking ahead of UFC 321, was asked if he would be willing to rematch Chimaev, who brutally finished him in 2019. Aliskerov not only said yes, but even claimed he would accept the fight on 2 days' notice. Those comments went viral, prompting Chimaev to react angrily on social media, accusing Aliskerov of hypocrisy and suggesting that such remarks create unnecessary tension between Dagestani and Chechen fighters. Following his unanimous decision victory over Park Jun-young at UFC 321, Aliskerov addressed the issue in his post-fight interview. He explained that his statement had been misrepresented and that he meant no disrespect toward Chimaev. Khamzat misunderstood, Aliskerov said. "The question was asked like, would you want a rematch with him? I answered that I'm not focused on that. Look at where he is now. He's the champion. To reach him, I'd have to climb past many contenders. There are 20 stones in the way, and I have to go through a meat grinder before I can even talk about fighting Khamzat again." He went on to explain that the interviewer pushed a hypothetical follow-up. What if he got the call for a short-notice title shot against Chimaev? "Even if it's not Khamzat, but anyone holding the belt, I'd say yes," Aliskerov clarified. "If a fighter is offered a world title shot and refuses because he's not ready, then I don't consider him a real fighter. In this sport, opportunities come rarely. If you turn them down, you're wasting your moment." Aliskerov emphasized that his remarks were about ambition and professionalism, not personal rivalry. "It wasn't about nationality or disrespect," he added. "It was about staying ready. If the UFC calls with a title fight, you take it. That's what being a fighter means." With both men now climbing the middleweight ranks, talk of a future rematch continues to intrigue fans. However, Aliskerov insists his focus remains on earning his way to the top the right way, one fight at a time. Move on to another news. Former UFC light heavyweight champion Jiří Procházka has sent a clear message to Alex Pereira following his thrilling victory over Khalil Rountree Jr. earlier this month. After suffering 2 consecutive losses to Pereira, Procházka has made it clear that his ultimate goal remains regaining the light heavyweight title, even if that means crossing paths with the Brazilian powerhouse once again. Since his defeats to Pereira, first by knockout at UFC 303 in June 24, Procházka has bounced back impressively with consecutive wins. wins over Jamahal Hill and Roundtree. His recent war with Roundtree was hailed as one of the most memorable fights of 2025, keeping him firmly in the title picture. Despite that, uncertainty looms as Pereira is now eyeing a potential move to heavyweight to face John Jones, which could shake up the entire division. Speaking with I Bloody Elbow, Prochaska shared his honest thoughts on the situation. Of course, there's a big possibility for that fight to happen, but I don't think the UFC will agree with it, and if he's moving to heavyweight, then he needs to release the title. Honestly, I don't care what he does next. I just want to fight for the belt, whether it's against Alex Pereira, Carlos Ulberg, or anyone else. When asked if avenging his losses to Pereira was more important than reclaiming the championship, Prochaska gave a calm but confident response. "I'm not obsessed with Alex Pereira," he said. "It's not about revenge. It's about proving something to myself. I've made a lot of changes inside and outside the cage. I believe I can bring the belt home and find a way to beat him if that fight happens again." With Pereira's potential jump to heavyweight and contenders like Carlos Ulberg riding long winning streaks, the light heavyweight division is once again full of intrigue. Whether the UFC grants Prochaska a third fight with Pereira or sets up a fresh title matchup, one thing is certain. Move on to another news. Following the unfortunate eye poke that ended Tom Aspinall's fight against Cyril Gane at UFC 321, the attending doctor provided an update on the heavyweight champion's condition. The cage-aside physician confirmed that while the incident was serious enough to halt the bout, the decision to stop the fight was absolutely the right one to protect Aspinall's health and long-term vision. After the fight, medical staff immediately examined Aspinall to ensure there were no major complications. The doctor stated, "He needs to stay here and see a specialist after this. We'll go together to make sure he's fully checked out." When asked if it was the right call to stop the fight, the physician firmly agreed. "Yes, it's good that the fight was stopped. Of course, it should be stopped until he's completely fine again and cleared by the ophthalmology department." The doctor went on to explain that while initial tests showed no permanent damage, further evaluation would be required to confirm that Aspinall's vision fully returns to normal. After this visit, there will be a second check to make sure everything is back to normal. His vision seems okay for now, and we didn't find anything dangerous, which is a good sign. The medical team emphasized that even seemingly minor eye injuries can be unpredictable and must be treated with caution. Their priority, they said, was ensuring that Aspinall recovers completely before resuming any form of training or competition. This measured response from the medical staff has received widespread praise from both fans and fighters, who agree that stopping the fight was the safest choice under the circumstances. While the anticlimactic ending left viewers disappointed, it served as a reminder that fighter safety remains the top priority inside the Octagon. Aspinall is expected to undergo additional medical evaluations in the coming weeks. If all goes well, UFC President Dana White has hinted that the highly anticipated rematch between Aspinall and Gane could be rescheduled for early 2026. For now, however, the focus remains on the heavyweight champion's full recovery and return to form.